Who was the woman that the Royal Society shut out? Last night, while I was trying to sleep, I found myself thinking about all the women whose names should be far more famous than they are. And one story stood out because it sounds almost too frustrating to be true. A woman made major advances in electrical engineering, wasn't allowed to present her own paper at the Royal Society, was rejected as a fellow because she was married, and then went on to invent something that helped save soldiers in World War I. Her name was Hertha Ayrton. She was born in 1854 and became one of the leading experts on the electric arc, which was a huge deal at the time because arc lamps were among the first practical electric lights. But they had a problem. They hissed, flickered, and behaved unpredictably. Ayrton studied this in detail and showed that the hissing was linked to a change at the carbon electrodes and the way oxygen interacted with the arc. In other words, she didn't just observe the problem, she explained how it worked. The research made her the first woman to present a paper to the Institution of Electrical Engineers, and she later became its first female member. That alone would have been enough to secure a place in history. But then came the Royal Society. In 1901, when her paper on the mechanism of the electric arc was presented there, it wasn't read by her. It was read by John Perry. Then, when she was nominated for fellowship in 1902, the society rejected her, not because her science was weak, but because, under the legal rules of the time, a married woman was not considered an independent legal person in the same way a man was. Under English common law, her legal identity was treated as being absorbed into that of her husband. So the Royal Society argued that she was not eligible as an individual fellow. It was sexism enforced through legal technicality. But she kept working anyway. She published The Electric Arc in 1902, which became a standard reference on the subject. Later, during World War I, she turned her attention to something much more immediate: poison gas in the trenches. She invented the Ayrton Fan, a simple hand-operated device designed to disperse gas clouds. The War Office initially dismissed it. Then reality caught up. Eventually, more than 104,000 of these fans were ordered for use. And she didn't stop there. Over her lifetime, she held 26 patents, working on mathematical instruments, electric arc technology, and air propulsion devices. In 1906, she became the first woman to receive the Royal Society's Hughes Medal for her work on electric arcs and ripple patterns. So yes, Hertha Ayrton was doubted, sidelined, and blocked. She didn't become important because she was rejected. She was rejected despite already being important. I'm Mari, and this is Midnight Question.